Welcome to all of you. I hope all of you are doing really well. Okay, in our polity session, as all of you are knowing that I have covered about ordinary bills and money bills. Apart from that, I have differentiated between the ordinary bills and money bills yesterday lecture. Since it is necessary to cover financial bill type 1 and financial bill type 2 that comes under article 117 clause 1 and clause 3 respectively. But first of all, it's more necessary to cover about joint sitting of both the houses. It means joint sitting of parliament. Only after that I will come on the topic of financial bill type 1 and financial bill type 2. Okay, so money bills come under article 110 of the Indian Constitution. Okay, so I will come on the topic of article 117 clause 1 and clause 3 after covering the joint parliamentary session. Okay, joint session of both the houses. Fine. After the finishing of topic of parliament, I will also cover cabinet committees. Both these are so important, but cabinet committees will cover, I will try to cover only in one class. Otherwise, it will take nevertheless more 2 class. Fine. So I am moving to the next one. As all of you are knowing that we are continuing this parliament topic from last several days. Okay, we have spent so much time on this topic. Why? Because it needs so much attention to get the conceptual parts of about the parliamentary function of our nation. Okay, even parliament chapter is really important for not only for PT and mains but also for interviewer. Okay, apart from that, those aspirants who have the optional paper of political science and international relations, this is really going to help them a lot. Of course, I am going to initiate PSIR optional after few days, but this will help you a lot. Even in the history chapter 2, this will help you a lot. Fine. So I am moving to the next one that will start our today's session. See, it is about joint session of 2 houses. 2 houses means, I hope all of you are now getting it, because till these lectures, I think more than 30 lectures I have given. So now I hope that all of you are capable to find out about houses. Houses means both the houses. Also I mentioned 2 houses, that is Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. So it is an extraordinary process. As all of you are knowing that generally this situation doesn't come in our Indian democratic Indian parliamentary function and Indian parliamentary system. Only 3 times till now this joint sitting of both the houses comes in action. Only 3 times. Okay, you doesn't need to remember those 3 times for the perspective of examination of UPSC. Okay, so I will not waste in time for reading and giving the lectures on those 3 bills on which these both the sitting of houses have taken place and comes in action. Okay, so just see it, focus on here. Okay, fine, let's see. Suppose it is Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, joint sitting of parliament. It means joint sitting of both the houses. It comes in action only when there will be any kind of conflict between both the houses. Conflict means not like fighting one. Okay, conflict means there is a deadlock. Deadlock arises between Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha due to any kind of situations. Okay, due to any house. If due to any house or due to the reason of both the house, if the bill is pending and not getting passed, then the joint sitting of parliament becomes so necessary, because in our country there is much needed that bill will becomes act only when if legislature form the rules, regulations, acts, then executive's roles come. After that judiciary will play the role of which one? Justice. So it's become so necessary. Okay, so I am just giving an overview that it is an extraordinary situation, extraordinary process, not an ordinary one. Ordinary one like that, we will say that it's an ordinary situation only when there will be a separate bill passing process method from each house separately, like Lok Sabha passing the bill and also Rajya Sabha passing the same bill, or even Rajya Sabha passes the bill at first instance and then second instance, Lok Sabha also get confidence of their members about passing that bill. Okay, so in that situation, that will be termed as original situation. That means not extraordinary situation, that means natural situation. But joint sitting of both the houses, joint sitting of parliament, consists that it is an extraordinary process. It comes in action only when there is an extraordinary situation arise. Fine. I hope just the overview of it, all of you are getting it right now. So I am moving to the next one, that it tells something detail about which one? Joint sitting of parliament in our function, democratic function of parliamentary system. Fine. So let's see. 3 conditions for joint sitting of both the houses. There are 3 conditions under which the situation of sitting of both the houses together will come in action or come in play. Okay. So what are those 3 situations? I hope without telling me, all of you are starting guessing that those 3 situations. Okay. Few of them are not able to grip that part, but I hope most of you are now gathering those 3 sections, 3 points, 3 parts. Since many of the students are joining regularly, that's why I am going to tell you that what are those 3 points and situations. Okay. One important thing, that due to some technical glitch, some of the comments are not arriving on our platform. Okay. But we are working hard on it. After 3 to 4 days, we will regularly initiate on that part. Okay, fine. So let's see. Let's focus on our study. See, what are those 3 situations? Number 1, hear my words carefully, otherwise you will going to miss 1 mark. Okay, hear my words real carefully. What are the conditions, situations under which the joint sitting of parliament will comes in action? See the situation number 1. Focus here. Here it is Lok Sabha, Raj Sabha. Fine. If the first situation, if Lok Sabha passes the bill and Raj Sabha rejecting the bill, it means Raj Sabha is not passing that bill and rejected that bill. Okay. Rejected that bill means what? Passing of any bill from any of the house will require that majority of the members of parliament of that particular house will in favor of that bill. Are you getting it? Passing of any bill from any of the house, either it may be Lok Sabha or Raj Sabha too. So passing of the bill from any of the house requires majority of the members of parliament of that respective house in favor of that bill which is tabled in that house. Okay. But rejecting of the bill means majority of the members of parliament of that particular house is not in favor of that particular bill. It means those members of parliament are against that bill. Okay. So in that case, where see always compare, okay, compare, start to comparison. Okay. Why? Because whenever we will say that the bill is passed, it doesn't mean that all of the members of parliament are agreeing on that part. No. Or agreeing on that bill. No. If any bill is passed, it doesn't mean that all the members of parliament are in favor of that bill. It's only mean that majority of the members of parliament, it means more than 50%. Okay. More than 50%. More than 50% of members of parliament at the present and voting. So what's the present and voting? I hope I have covered in full detail. So all of you are getting it. Okay. Otherwise you are confused in it, tell me. Fine. Contact to our team. So let's see. The first situation arise where joint sitting of both the houses may comes in action is if one house passing the bill. It may be even possible that one house, I am giving the example of Lok Sabha, but it is possible that first house may be also be Raj Sabha. Okay, I have covered all these things. So if one house passing the bill and the other house is rejecting the bill, in that case the situation of joint sitting of parliament, joint sitting of both the houses may take place. Fine. So this is the first situation. Second situation is that suppose first house passing the bill and second house giving some amendments, second house wants to change in that bill, wants some amendments in that bill. In that case, it is possible that second house passes that bill but with any amendments. If the first house not satisfied with those amendments, then there will be always a situation of conflict between both the houses. There will be a situation of deadlock between Lok Sabha and Raj Sabha, means between both the houses of parliament. Then in that situation too, joint sitting of parliament or joint sitting of both the houses may take place. may take place doesn't necessary to take place. It is upon the President of India. Fine. The third situation, see here, if first house passes the bill and the bill is pending for 6 months in second house, then in that situation too, after 6 months, it is more ever possible that the joint sitting of both the houses, that means the joint sitting of parliament, may take place, may come in action. Fine. So these are the three conditions. I am repeating it again. See, there are three situations under which the joint sitting of both the houses may takes in place. Okay, comes in action. Number one, if one house passes the bill and other house rejected the bill. Okay, number one. Number two, if one house passes the bill and the other house passes that bill but with some amendments, changes, or giving some recommendations, some major suggestions, okay, and not passing that bill and just returning it, not rejecting that, just saying that, other house saying that please accept our suggestions, recommendations only when we are going to pass that bill from second house. Okay, so in that case it is also possible that joint sitting of both the houses or joint sitting of parliament may take place, may comes in action. The third part, that is, if one house, the first house passes the bill and the second house keep pending that bill for 6 months, and when the 6 months time will over, then the situation of which one, the joint sitting of parliament, that is joint sitting of both the houses, again comes in action. Okay, not necessarily but may take place in those situations. The third one, I am repeating it again because it is possible that you may get confused in third one. If one house passes the bill and other house is taking no action on that bill for 6 months, then when the period of 6 months time will cross, then it is more ever possible that there will be a possibility of joint sitting of both the houses or joint sitting of parliament may take place. Okay, so these are the three situations under which joint sitting of parliament is possible. So it is more correlative. Okay, fine, it is more correlative about joint sitting of parliament. All of you must remember these three facts. Fine, doesn't remember line by line, but just keeping in mind that under which circumstances the situation of joint sitting of both the houses may comes in action. Fine, so I hope till now all of you are getting it. So what are those three situations? I hope all of you are covering it right now. So I am moving to the next one, that will tell you something extra about the joint sitting of parliament. Fine, let's see. Power of president in joint sitting of both the houses. This topic has also been covered during the lecture of President of India. This topic has also been covered in the lecture before yesterday, and even in the lecture of yesterday class this topic has also been covered. So I am just repeating it again. Okay, see what happens actually if there will be a situation of deadlock, or you can say it conflict, in other words, between both the houses. It means if there is a situation of deadlock or conflict between Lok Sabha or Raj Sabha, then there is a huge possibility of, there is a much more possibility of taking place in action of which one? Joint sitting of both the houses. Okay, so which one authority has the right to call that joint sitting of both the houses? Either it is Prime Minister of India who can call that now it's time for joint sitting of parliament, joint sitting of both the houses, not at all. Even the Speaker of Lok Sabha and the Chairman of Raj Sabha or even the Supreme Court of India doesn't have the right to call that joint sitting of parliament. Only it is the President of India. I am repeating it again. Only it is the President of India who has the power to call that joint sitting of parliament, but only on the aid and advices of councils of ministers, union councils of ministers headed by the Prime Minister. Fine, I hope all of you are getting it. So I am moving to the next one. So regarding the joint sitting of parliament, I hope the powers of president you are getting it. Okay, fine. So let's see. A question has come, a question has arrived. Okay, let's see that question. Is joint sitting of parliament is possible regarding all the bills? There are 4 types of bills. generally. Number 1 ordinary bill, number 2 money bill, number 3 financial bill, and number 4 which one? Constitutional amendment bill. Constitutional amendment bill. Okay, constitutional amendment bill is itself the most important one. Why? All of you will get it when I will cover constitutional amendment bill. Okay, so see here, see I am repeating the question again. Is joint sitting of both the houses or joint sitting of parliament is possible, or is joint sitting of both the houses will come in action, may come in action regarding all the bills, related to all the bills? Not at all. See here, possible and not possible. So here also two bills and here also two bills. Let's see. Regarding ordinary bills, joint sitting of both the houses may comes in action. Possibility of joint sitting of both the houses, okay, will more or will more what? Okay, possibility of joint sitting of houses is always available for or regarding the purpose of ordinary bills. Second one, regarding which one? Financial bills, but not for all financial bills, because money bills also comes under financial bills. I have covered it yesterday. Apart from money bills, all financial bills, okay, all financial bills comes under the possibility of joint sitting of both the houses. But in money bill, joint sitting of both the houses is not possible at all. Fine, because money bills, regarding the money bills, Lok Sabha has much more power than Rajya Sabha. Actually, Rajya Sabha has only negligible powers regarding money bill. Yesterday I have covered it. And next one, the final one, under which there is no possibility of joint sitting of both the houses, is constitutional amendment bill. Okay, constitutional amendment bill. What is constitutional amendment bill? I will definitely cover, because this is an important one. Fine. So regarding two bills, that is ordinary bills and financial bills. Financial bills excluding by money bills. Okay. So ordinary bills and financial bills are the two situations under which the possibility of joint sitting of parliament is taking place. Okay, but when we taking the regard of money bills and constitutional amendment bill, then there will be no possibility of taking place of joint sitting of both the houses, and we can say that also joint sitting of parliament too. So I hope the answers of these questions is now very much clear for all of you. I hope so. Okay, so I am moving to the next one. Now see an interesting one. Okay, 6 months counting and 84 days prorogation. Sorry, not 84 days. Here it will be only 4 days. By mistaking, it has been mentioned here. Okay. See, 6 months counting and 4 days prorogation or adjourn. It means what? It needs an example for this clarification. Okay, the clarification of this point needs definitely an example. Otherwise, all of you are not able to understand it properly. See, as all of you know that Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, there are two houses. See one situation. If Lok Sabha passing the bill, if any bill introduced in first house, and in this example the first house is Lok Sabha. So if Lok Sabha is passing the bill, and whenever after passing the bill, this bill go to the Rajya Sabha, and here Rajya Sabha is second house in our example. Okay, in this example only. So when this bill go to the Rajya Sabha, Lok Sabha is expecting that Rajya Sabha will also pass that, but it is possible, I have earlier told it too. Okay, but it is possible that Rajya Sabha is taking no action on this bill and keep pending this bill for 6 months. Then there will be a situation of again joint sitting of both houses is possible. I hope all of you are getting it. But one interesting thing, see, if I hope about adjournment and prorogation, I have covered all those things. So I will not go in detail about adjournment. If there will be adjournment of here, if Lok Sabha is passing the bill and go to the Rajya Sabha, if there will be adjournment in Lok Sabha who has passed the bill for any number of days, either for even for 1 month, then it doesn't have any importance. Okay, it doesn't have any importance regarding it. Okay, so let's see. The effect of prorogation or adjournment of Lok Sabha in this situation will affect only on the procedures of Lok Sabha, not on the procedures of this bill, that is keep pending in other house, that is Rajya Sabha in our example. In this example, let's see. But what happen if there will be a 3 days adjournment in second house, that is Rajya Sabha, here in our example. Okay, so what happens if there is 3 days prorogation or adjournment? If there is 3 days adjournment in Rajya Sabha, then either those 3 days will be counted in this 6 months or not. Either those 3 days will be included these 6 months or not. Yes, it will be included. Okay, it will be included. Extra time will not be given. Extra 3 days time will not be given. Okay, this will be included in 6 months. For 4 days, of course, it will also be included. Not any extra 4 days will be given. If the second house, there will be no procedure, no function. Okay, the house is suspended, that means adjourned for 4 days regularly, continuously. Always understand me, continuously. Okay, continuously. Then if 4 days continuously the adjournment of second house, okay, then will extra 4 days will be given for those 6 months? Not at all. But what happens if more than 4 days? If more than 4 days continuously not any proceedings happen in second house, then now extra time will be added. Extra time will be added, +1 +1 +1. Okay, and so on. Extra time will be added in 6 months. Fine. But see, if there is a 4 days adjournment, after that, after 1 day proceedings taken place. Okay, after 4 days continuously adjournment. After that 4 days, 1 day has taken place. 1 day's proceedings had taken place. Okay, again there is 4 days adjournment. So either how many days will be given to extra for this 6 months? Now tell me, 4 days continuously adjourned of the second house, and 1 day has been taken proceedings, and again 4 days adjournment, continuously adjournment. So in 9 days only 1 day proceedings have taken place in Rajya Sabha. So how many days will be extra given to these 6 months? Okay, for passing that bill or for taking any action on that bill? That is only 1 day. That is only 1 day, because I am again regularly saying that continuously. Okay, continuously, even only it is continuously, then that extra time will be given. It is the maximum time is 4 days. Just when continuously 4 days time will be over and fifth day or sixth day adjournment will take place, then 1 + 1 + 1 days will be added in that 6 months. Fine. So I hope what is this relation between 6 months counting and 4 days prorogation or adjournment, all of you are getting it. Okay, so I am moving to the next one. Now let's see. See here carefully. If any bill will be lapsed due to dissolution of Lok Sabha, so under which conditions the bills of member of parliament that has been introduced by member of parliament will be lapsed when dissolution of Lok Sabha takes place? I have already covered in a detailed view that when the bill will be lapsed when the dissolution of Lok Sabha taking place. So I am not going on that section. Okay, because I have covered that. If I will go that, just wasting our time. So if any bill will be lapsed due to dissolution of Lok Sabha, then joint sitting is not possible. Not at all. Okay, not at all. If any bill is lapsed due to dissolution of Lok Sabha, fine, due to dissolution of Lok Sabha, if any bill lapse due to dissolution of Lok Sabha, if any bill lapse, only then, not only then joint sitting of both the houses is not possible at all. Fine. Joint sitting of parliament is not possible. So under which circumstances and condition dissolution of Lok Sabha takes place and bill will be termed as lapsed, and under which situation the bill will not be termed as lapsed bill, I have already covered that. Okay. Even if you have not seen that, just go to my previous lectures of Parliament of India. All of you will get it easily. So I am moving to the next one. Now see it. Joint sitting can be held if the Lok Sabha is dissolved after the President has notified his intention to summon such sitting. Not summon, it's summon. Summon means calling. Calling, okay. Right to call, summon, summoning. Okay. See, if bill will be lapsed, then there will be no possibility of joint sitting of both houses. But one exception. See, if bill till now bill has not lapsed, bill has not lapsed due to dissolution of Lok Sabha, if bill has not lapsed till now and there is no any scenery coming like that the bill will be passed. Okay. If there is no situation is visible that this bill will be passed, and if, see here my words carefully, if there will be a deadlock between Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, then definitely President of India may have the right to call joint sitting of both the houses of Parliament. See, if President has called that joint sitting of both the houses, and between that, if already President has decided to call that joint sitting, and after taking the decision of President of India that joint sitting will take place, after taking the decision of President, after that if the bill will be lapsed due to dissolution of Lok Sabha, then joint sitting of both the houses is possible. Fine. I hope all of you are getting it. President has taken a decision of joint sitting of both the houses. After that, okay, even after 1 hour of that decision, if the dissolution of Lok Sabha takes place and this bill will be not passed, then joint sitting will happen. But remember one condition: due to any reason, if any bill will be lapsed due to any reason, then joint sitting is not possible at all. Remember this fact. If bill is lapsed, then no joint sitting is possible. Okay, but since here President will take the decision of joint sitting of both the houses only when there will be no dissolution of Lok Sabha, because when there will be dissolution of Lok Sabha, then automatically, if there is no Lok Sabha right now, then who will sit in both the sitting of houses? Who will sit? It will only members of Rajya Sabha, because the dissolution of Lok Sabha take place. So members of Parliament Lok Sabha cannot sit in that joint sitting of both the houses. So if there will be a deadlock situation arise and the bill has not lapsed yet, okay, just deadlock situation arise, and if President of India has taken the decision of joint sitting of both the houses, calling of joint sitting of both the houses, then after taking that decision, if Lok Sabha is dissolved, then whenever the new Lok Sabha will form, then after few fresh elections or anyone, of course, even it is possible that a opposition party may form the government. So after new Lok Sabha takes place, then joint sitting will take place for that bill. Okay, because President has already taken a decision from the dissolution of Lok Sabha, prior to the dissolution of Lok Sabha. So I hope this point is clear to all of you. Okay, so I am moving. Now let's see. Okay, let's see. Another question come. Who will preside the joint sitting of both the houses? I hope all of you have answers on your mouth. Okay, it is the speaker of Lok Sabha who will always preside the joint sitting of both the houses. Only the speaker of Lok Sabha. Chairman of Rajya Sabha cannot preside the joint sitting of both the houses. Is it only on the a speaker, only the speaker of Lok Sabha who have the right to preside the joint sitting of parliament. If a speaker of Lok Sabha will be absent or seat is vacant or absent, then who will? Deputy speaker will, it is the deputy speaker who will preside the joint sitting of both the houses. Okay, if both the authority, a speaker of Lok Sabha and as well as deputy speaker of Lok Sabha is not present in the house, then who will preside the Lok Sabha? Due to any reason, if a speaker and deputy speaker is not present in the joint sitting of both the houses, then who will preside this joint sitting of both the houses? Whether it is now chairman of Rajya Sabha, whether not at all. If both these authorities like a speaker and deputy speaker of Lok Sabha not present, then deputy chairman of Rajya Sabha will preside the office of joint sitting of both the houses. Okay, it is the deputy chairman of, not chairman, deputy chairman of Rajya Sabha. Okay, fine. So in all cases you are looking that, see, a speaker is a member of parliament, definitely deputy speaker will be a member of parliament, both are member of parliament of Lok Sabha, and chairman of Rajya Sabha is vice president. Okay, so chairman of Rajya Sabha is not a member of parliament of Rajya Sabha, and deputy chairman of Rajya Sabha is a member of parliament of Rajya Sabha. Okay, so you can see that during the session of joint sitting of both the houses, always the person who is a member of parliament will be a part of member of parliament will always lead the house. Okay, so first time a speaker, if a speaker not available, deputy speaker, even if both the authority not available, then deputy chairman, not the chairman, it is deputy chairman of Rajya Sabha will preside the joint sitting of both the houses, joint sitting of parliament. So I hope it is clear to all of you. Okay, it is an important one. Fine. So I am moving to the next one. See, again a question. I hope all of you are reading it. Now I will read that. Let's see. Can the deputy chairman of Rajya Sabha presides the joint sitting? The answer is already I have given you. Okay, fine. So it doesn't need to cover it. So I am moving to the next one. Yes, the answer will be yes. Of course, deputy chairman can preside the joint sitting of both the houses, but in a special circumstances, that when a speaker of Lok Sabha and deputy speaker of Lok Sabha is not available. Okay. See, quorum for joint sitting of parliament. See, quorum of Lok Sabha I have covered, quorum of Rajya Sabha I have covered, that is 1/10. 1/10 of the total strength. 1/10, like, see, I am repeating it again about quorum. Okay, in just 2 minutes I will cover the whole thing. See, only when there will be a 1/10 of 543 members of parliament of Lok Sabha will be available, that is 55. See, minimum 55 MPs of Lok Sabha will present, only then the proceedings of Lok Sabha will start. Okay, if only 54 MPs sitting in the house of Lok Sabha, then a speaker of Lok Sabha cannot start the proceedings of Lok Sabha. Okay, minimum 55. It is known as the quorum. Minimum attention required. Okay, minimum attention required to initiate the proceedings of house, that particular house. So, like, it's 245 MP in Rajya Sabha. Okay, so minimum 25 MP. Okay, 1/10 of 245, that is 24.5. So persons cannot be cut behalf. Okay, so it is minimum 25 MP of Rajya Sabha must be sitting in the house of Rajya Sabha, so that proceedings of Rajya Sabha can be initiated. Fine. So this is quorum for Rajya Sabha, this is quorum for Lok Sabha. But what happens when both the MPs of, all the MPs of both the houses will sit together? Okay, then what happens? Let's see. It will be the 538 and 448 and 527. It is 788. So if you regarding 1/10 of 788, then it is which one? 78.8. So minimum 79 MP required. Minimum 79 member of parliament must required to initiate the proceedings of joint sitting of both the houses. Quorum is same for both the houses, Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, that is 1/10 of the total strength. not 1/10 of the present, because present is itself the main issue of quorum, okay, presenting of MP. So the 1/10 is the similar for even for the joint sitting of both the houses, okay. So 1/10 minimum, the quorum for initiating the proceedings for joint sitting of both the houses is 1/10 of the total strength of all the MPs of both the houses. Fine. So I hope it is clear to all of you. So I am moving to the next one. So here it is clear itself, okay students. So I hope all of you have get it, okay. All of you have covered the whole things. Fine. One doubt has been asked, okay, to our team, that 3 students, almost 3 or 4 students asked this question, that I am telling here, that's why all of you are getting clarified about it. See here. Focus clearly. If joint parliamentary committee during the passing of the ordinary bills or even the money bills, I have told you about committee, select committee and joint parliamentary committee, okay. So many of the students are asking about the difference between select committee and joint parliamentary committee, or joint committee, even you can call that joint committee. So in select committee, understand my words carefully, Lok Sabha has different kinds of committee, Rajya Sabha has also some committees, okay, both houses have some committees. Select committee means the committees of only this house, the committees of only this house. If the select committee of Lok Sabha, then only on the members of Lok Sabha will be available on those committees. If select committee of Rajya Sabha, then only the members of Rajya Sabha, the members of Parliament of Rajya Sabha can be included in the select committee of Rajya Sabha, okay. Even Attorney General of India or Controller or Auditor General of India. So these are some exceptions, okay, who can even participate in any of the committee, okay. Select committee of Lok Sabha, select committee of Rajya Sabha, joint parliamentary committee of both the houses. So it is a individual one. Select committee is individual one. It is a separate one, okay. It is separate for Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. It is not like that. If there is a select committee of Lok Sabha and if MP of Rajya Sabha wants to sit in that committee, then MP of Rajya Sabha cannot sit in that committee. In the same way, if there is select committee of Rajya Sabha and any MP of Lok Sabha wants to participate in that select committee of Rajya Sabha, then that MP of Lok Sabha is not able to participate in that select committee of or the proceedings of select committee of Rajya Sabha. Fine. So now what is joint parliamentary committee? Unlike select committee, joint parliamentary committee is that the members of both the houses will participate in joint parliamentary committee. The name itself is joint parliamentary committee or joint committee, even joint committee also called. Like the issue of Rafale, whenever the France is going to investigate, the court of France is going to investigate on the issue of Rafale air fighter jet, okay. So that there is demanding by opposition parties for JPC. JPC means what? You will hear about JPC. So JPC means joint parliamentary committee. So opposition wants that joint parliamentary committee should verify the whole deal, okay, verify that deal of India and France about Rafale fighter jet, okay. So JPC is both the members, all the members not, so but members of both the houses participate in this committee, okay. Not all one, those who are selected for the committee, only those one, okay, but both the members of both the houses will be available, MP of Lok Sabha to MP of Rajya Sabha to. So it is not an individual one, okay. Even Lok Sabha MP will be included more because their number is more than Rajya Sabha, because Rajya Sabha have only 245 members of parliament and Lok Sabha is 543 member of parliament. Fine. Again, about one important thing I want to tell you here about joint sitting of both the houses. See, hear it clearly, okay. See, Lok Sabha has 543 members, fine. Lok Sabha has 543 members, okay. So majority mark will be 272 plus minimum 273. If any bill will have to pass from the Lok Sabha, then minimum more than 50% must be in favor of that bill and voting in favor of that bill. So as all of you know that Lok Sabha has 543 members, so it is very rarely that all the members of parliament will be present on the same day. It is very rarely, it happens but very rarely. But see, assume it, okay, if all the available, just assume it, or for Lok Sabha it is 245 members of parliament, okay, for Raj Sabha. It's also very rarely that all of the MPs of Raj Sabha will present on the same day of proceedings, okay. But see here, if out of 543, just assume that if only 400 MP present on the voting of any bill in Lok Sabha, then the majority mark to approve that bill is 201, more than 50%, and here if only 200 MPs present in Raj Sabha, okay, on any day, and on that day the voting has been going on related to any bill, then majority mark will be 101, okay. So however, if always there will be always, see, more than 50%, okay, the number of MPs of Lok Sabha is more than double of the members of parliament of Raj Sabha, you can differentiate it. So it really affects on joint sitting of both the houses. How? You will see it right now. See how. This one is important to tell all of you, okay, because a mains question may come, even interviewer can ask also about it. Let's see, if joint sitting of both the houses or joint sitting of parliament takes place, so members of Lok Sabha, MP of Lok Sabha plus MP of Raj Sabha will sit together, okay. So we will just assume that all the members of Lok Sabha present and all the members of Raj Sabha present. So it is 543 members of Lok Sabha and 245 members of present, okay. Even just assume that 500 members of parliament only present in Lok Sabha and 200 members only present in Raj Sabha, then too the members of parliament of Lok Sabha, the strength of members of parliament of Lok Sabha will be much more than a strength of Raj Sabha. So see, if there is any bill that is not passed because Raj Sabha has not passed, if there is any bill that has not been passed from both the houses due to Raj Sabha has not passed it, then joint sitting will be benefit for Lok Sabha. See again, if Lok Sabha has passed the bill and Raj Sabha has not passed the bill, okay, or even there is a deadlock between the bill, and the main responsibility of deadlock is Raj Sabha because Raj Sabha is not passing that bill. If that happens, it is possible that Raj Sabha is passing any bill and Lok Sabha is not passing it. That is a separate matter. I am taking one separate condition. If Lok Sabha is passing the bill and Raj Sabha is not passing that bill, then there will be a joint sitting of both the houses will be take place. It is chances, it is possibility. Then in that case, Lok Sabha will in profit, will be in gain. How? See, just assume that due to Raj Sabha the bill is not getting passed, and for that matter the joint sitting of both the houses have taken place. Now see, total members 538 and 448 and 527, okay, so 728. If the bill has to be passed from this joint sitting of parliament, then minimum what numbers of needed? You can easily get it, okay, fine. So it is 395. Minimum 395 MPs must support. If all the MPs of both the houses present, then minimum 395 MPs should be support this bill only when this bill will be termed as passed from joint sitting of parliament. Then see, earlier minimum 273 will be supported if the bill is passed from Lok Sabha, if all will be present. I hope all of you are getting it. So how much extra needed? 122 only, fine, 122. So only 50% needed, but it is mostly probability that only when government has 20-30 more votes, only then government is sure about passing that bill. Otherwise if any 5-10 members will be absent on that day, then government will have to get humiliation, okay. So it is more possible that almost 300 passing and supporting from Lok Sabha, and then just how much, then just again a less number, that is even 100 only needed, almost about approx 100 needed. So see, if Lok Sabha wants to pass that bill from joint sitting, then Lok Sabha will be in gain, because even will you take this one or this one, this is not more than 50% of Rajya Sabha strength. Even the bill will be termed as passed from the joint sitting of both the houses, even less than 50% member of parliament are supporting that bill, members of Rajya Sabha are supporting that bill. Even it is possible that in joint sitting of both the houses, even less than 50% of member of parliament of Rajya Sabha is in favor of that bill. Even in that case, that bill can be passed. Okay, so in this situation, Lok Sabha will definitely in a win-win situation. Okay, definitely. So I hope this point is clear to all of you. This is little bit mathematical calculation looking at, but not like that. Fine, I am just giving the example. So we will meet tomorrow again. Okay, on the class of Monday. Fine, the day after tomorrow. Fine. So thank you students, thank you so much.